Today I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to make an Amongus plushie. And it's very easy and very inexpensive. It probably costs less than $2 for all the supplies that you need. The things that you're going to need to make this are a pair of scissors, thread, a needle. You're going to need 3 pieces of whatever color you choose for your Amongus plushie in felt, and then you're going to need a piece of white felt and a piece of light blue felt as well. So the first thing you're going to see me doing is I'm actually taking an Amongus plushie that I've already made, and I'm going to trace out the outline of him onto my piece of felt. And the first time I did it, I just freehand drew it. So you just need to make, 2 little legs and then a rounded body. But it's pretty easy to make, very simple shape for sure. So I'm cutting out my first piece of felt, and then I'm tracing it onto another one to make the back side. And I'm using chalk for my tracings as well. After that, I'm going to take my third piece of felt and I'm actually going to make a square shape, and that's going to be for the backpack on the back of my plushie. Now I'm drawing just I guess it would be an oval shape on a light blue fabric, and that's going to be for the goggles. After that, you're going to make 2 triangular notches on each end of the oval shape, and we're going to actually be sewing those little pieces together. It's just going to allow it so that you can stuff it and it will keep its rounded shape. Then you're going to make 2 triangular notches on each of the bodies as well, on top of the head. And again, we're going to sew those notches together, and it's just going to allow it so that you can stuff it more easily and it'll just keep its shape. So one part I forgot to show was that I cut out a little reflection out of white felt, and it looks like a little tiny bean shape, and that gets sewn onto the blue felt, which is the goggles. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just sewing that little white bean shape, which is the reflection, onto the blue felt. Next, I'm actually sewing up those little notches on each end of the goggles, and so that's what I'm doing right now. So I do each of those. I'm actually going to sew those little notches together. So I'm going to do for the front of the body and then the back of the body, I'm going to sew both of those little notches together. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually sew the goggles onto the front of the body. And you want to make sure that you leave a hole, so don't sew all the way around. You want to have a little hole or an opening so that you can put the stuffing inside to make sure that it does pop out from the body. So now it's time to put the stuffing in. So you can see me putting it in the little hole there. And once it's all stuffed, then I'm going to finish off and sew the rest of it. Now I put the 2 good sides together, so of the front and the back of the body, and I'm going to again sew all the way around, except I'm going to leave an opening down by his feet, and that's where I'm going to then turn the body inside out, and then I'm going to proceed to stuff it at that point. turn him inside out so that you can see the good side on the outside again. And this is where I'm going to then stuff him. So you want to make sure you take little pieces of batting and stuff it into all of the corners and crevices and things of that sort. You want to make sure you're putting in enough stuffing so that it's doesn't have any holes or feels lumpy or anything like that. And once he's all stuffed, then I'm going to proceed to stitch up the rest of his leg. And you'll see me stitching along here. And then when I get to the very end, I put in a little more stuffing just to make sure that that leg is fully stuffed. And then I just finish it off. So now I'm going to make his backpack. So it's just a square, so I'm going to sew along all of the edge there. And again, I'm going to make sure I leave a hole and flip it inside out. There we go. And then I'm going to continue to stuff that one as well. And then once it's all stuffed, I will finish off just sewing the rest of the square together. And then once that is all sewn up, I will then sew it onto the back of the body, onto his back, and then we will be done. So as you can see, you don't need a lot of sewing talent in order to do this. It's a very simple project, and you know what? Kids enjoy it even if it's not perfect. So my kids, I know, are thrilled with them. Here is the collection of all the ones I've done so far. And I'm sure that they will want me to pick up some more colors in the future as well, because they love playing Among Us in real life. They think that that is just so much fun. Anyway, thank you for tuning in and for the tutorial. And if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comment box and I will get back to you. Thanks so much again. Bye.